Under Adorance, we have three major brands, Noriko, Amore, and Rene of Paris. Then Rene of Paris is broken down into four different collections: the Muse, Alexander Couture, Orchids, and High Fashion. Today we're going to take a look at two new styles. Under Alexander Couture, I have shown two of the new styles already, the shorter chin length styles, and today I'm going to show you the two longer styles. I'd like to thank Shirley's Wig Shop for providing these two styles for me so I could review them for all of you. The links will be listed down below for you in the description box. I will also have timestamps if you want to see one style or not the other. All right, let's get started. First of all, as always, I tell you what I'm wearing at the beginning of my videos. This is NYX from Rene of Paris. This is from the High Fashion collection. I have NYX in Trey Chocolate R, one of my favorite wigs this year. I love this style. I'm sure some of you may want to know the difference between the four collections in Rene of Paris. Has to do with the colors, with the cap construction. That's basically what happens. For example, these that I'm showing you today are from the Alexander Couture Collection, and they're under $150, while the one that I'm wearing, NYX from High Fashion Collection, is more towards the $200. I'm going to start out by showing you the cap. I am really surprised at this cap. This is an extended lace front. If you notice that mono, it almost appears like a mono top. It's not as large as a mono top, but it has quite a large parting area. Rene of Paris is referring to this as a partial mono top. So it's not as large as a full mono, but it is much larger than if it had, for example, a left part, which I think it's a really, really nice feature. I don't think I've seen anything like that before. Felt covered ear tabs. We have an extended nape, Velcro adjusters, and a very good amount of stretch to the cap. Shirley sent me this one in Peaches and Cream, which is a new color in Alexander Couture. As you can see, this is a very long piece. It fits on the larger end of average. I had to really cinch it in to accommodate my 21.5-inch circumference. I'm sure it's going to fit comfortably a 22, 22.5 if your other two measurements are average. The fibers are very soft, very silky, very light, and wispy for sure. Beautiful, beautiful fibers. Very long piece. All right, let's take a look at the lace front. This lace appears to be pretty wide. It's not a narrow lace, so if you wanted to trim it, just go slowly, but I think you'll be able to see it. I'm zooming in the camera. It's lifting up a little, but I think it has to do with this style being a bit large on me. There is a little bit of knotting because we have a root, but they did add some of that creamy blonde, a little bit of that creamy blonde on that lace front. Overall, I think it's done pretty well because we don't have a very dark root here, and they did add some of those lighter fibers. I would just trim that a bit. We just have to be careful when we trim the lace on wigs because it could alter the sizing. So, or you could use a wig adhesive if you prefer, depending on your preference. So great coverage. Definitely fits me large. Let's take a look at that parting. Very, very nicely done. You can part it just about anywhere. So if you want to part it more towards the right or more towards the left, they made that partial mono wide enough where you can certainly part it. The measurements on Bryony are, the crown is 14 inches to 18 inches. The nape is 18 inches, and we have a fringe here of 8 to 9.5 inches. The weight on Bryony is 6.53, 6.5 ounces. It's almost 7 ounces. But we don't have any permatease up at the top at all. This is a very, very sleek piece. If you like a little bit of height, you're not going to have it with Bryony because there is no permatease. As far as the density, yes, we do have almost 7 ounces, but we have a very long piece. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel as if I'm wearing a lot of hair. It almost feels on the lower end of average. I don't usually wear this long length just loose like this, but I do like to have longer pieces in order to wear in a ponytail or wear it clipped up. You could wear it with a headband, wear it half up and half down, wear it in a side ponytail. You could do that as well. This one is in the color Peaches and Cream. This is a warm peach base. No doubt about it, we have a peach base there. They added some of the creamy blonde, almost white blonde on the front, and they blended it all the way, that creamy blonde. We have it also all the way down to the tips. Beautiful, unique color. I think the color is absolutely stunning. And we have that medium brown root. The next one that we're going to take a look at is Roxie. I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning, but both of these are heat-friendly fibers. And with Roxie, we're going to have the same cap as we found on Bryony. We have an extended lace front. We have that partial monofilament top, so it's quite wide. Felt covered ear tabs, an extended nape, Velcro adjusters, and a good amount of stretch to the cap. If it runs, I'm going to really cinch it in because Bryony fits me quite large on my 21.5-inch circumference. My Roxie is in the color Mushroom Melange. I'm not sure why they added this wide lace, which is pretty unusual for Rene of Paris. They don't usually have such a wide lace. Of course, we can trim it. We just have to be very careful. Other than that, there's not a lot of knotting here because this is a relatively light color. And there's also nothing wrong with the wide lace. I just like to point it out because not everyone likes a wide lace. Once again, you can certainly trim it. Just be careful because it could alter the sizing. On Roxie, we do have permatease that we didn't find on Bryony. There's permatease surrounding that that partial monofilament top. There's not an abundance and it's not pillowy, but there's definitely some permatease there. Just a minimal amount, but a little bit more than what we have on Bryony. I think they'd be good sister styles if you want to have one that's a bit wavy and one that is straight. Just as I found with the fit on Bryony, I find Roxie is exactly the same way. It's going to fit a 22, 22.5. It definitely runs big. I almost had to crisscross it in order to accommodate my 21.5-inch circumference. Here is the ear tab and my very low hairline. Let's take a look at that part. We certainly have the illusion of scalp. And if you wanted to part it more towards the left or more towards the right, you can do it because that part is it's much larger than your regular left mono part or center part. The measurements on Roxie, we have a crown that's 13 inches to 15 inches. The nape is about 15 inches, and we have a fringe, kind of like what we saw on Bryony, of 6.5 to 8 inches. I feel the density on Roxie is average. It does feel as a little bit more than what I felt on Bryony, but it could be because of these waves that we have on this style. The color Mushroom Melange, this is a kind of like a taupe color. We have a blend of mushroom blondes or taupe, I have creamy blonde, and we have some very subtle lowlights of pale chocolate brown. Very, very pale, but it gives it that dimension. And that root is a pale chocolate. So we don't have a stark root here. I think that if you love long hair and you're looking for sister styles, these two would be great sister styles. And I neglected to mention we have that creamy blonde on the tips as well. Almost white on the tips. So they did a really nice job with this color. Just a matter of preference. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from all of you. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.